Yes.
What's up, Steeler Nation? We're back. Cold as steel. How's everybody doing today? We are here on the weekend of the NFL Draft, and it's actually still going on right now. Looks like we're in the fifth round. Sixth. Wow, that's going fast.
Yeah, it's going quick now.
Well, we only have one more pick, I think, in the seventh. Yeah, we have 2 picks in the 7th round, and that's it. That's probably why I stopped paying attention.
Yep.
What do you guys think? I think it's been a good draft so far. Let's do a little recap on it all.
Well, I know we're biased, but I think this might be the best draft I've seen the Steelers do overall.
For sure.
Overall, we are killing it.
For sure. What was it? I think we all knew the first pick was going to happen.
A lineman?
Well, a tackle for sure.
Yeah, had to.
But the way with us trading with the Pats, that was unexpected. Smart. Because I don't think he would have been there. Because I think the Jets would have taken him.
Yeah, they need help for
And I think the
Rodgers.
Patriots were like, oh, you're going to do something to screw the Jets real quick?
Ooh.
Like,
They did. They actually. I read the article after that said the Patriots masterminds for taking that pick away from the Jets because they would have taken him.
I heard some.
And I was like, well,
I
That's
heard
a little
Jets,
Belichick action there,
I
I'm
heard
sure.
a Jets guy
He
say
probably
that
called
they
Pittsburgh
knew.
and was like, yo.
maybe Juju's like sitting beside Bill, like, hey, throw him a bone.
Yeah, I think they knew that the Jets were going to take him, and so they're like, "Yeah, we'll trade."
I didn't even think of that.
Yep.
That's freaking hilarious.
I didn't think of it either. I heard a guy say it.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's out there.
I heard a guy say it. Yeah.
It was it was on the draft show that he said it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a stud. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that pick. It's an immediate impact
The
for
biggest
Pickett.
surprise, though, I think, is that Joey Porter Jr. fell out of the first round. People were freaking out about that.
I was so sad because I was happy you got a lineman because now I think they already said that like Dan Moore is going to have to work his ass off to keep a spot on the roster, bringing this guy in. But I was so sad because I was like, every team after that, I'm like, well, there needs a corner. Here we go. We're going to lose him. And he just kept going. And I was
They
like,
were surprised. They were surprised that he.
Yeah. I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to happen.
That was that grade for that pick was really good because we got him so late.
Yeah, it was a
He
great A.
Supposed to. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was just a lot of talent, and then the run on receivers
That
helped
helped.
him fall.
That helped.
Mhm.
Oh, and
Was it
what's
4?
the guys picked the running back? Who was that?
The Lions
The
picked
Lions
the running
picked the
back out of
running back, and
Alabama.
That's what everybody.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that dude.
I mean, I watched
I think
him
it was
play.
too much around Bryce Young.
Yeah.
that took away from the running back.
and
But
the fact that their running back core right now is already we thought was decent, if not
Yeah,
better than
they must have
decent.
known they were trading away DeAndre Swift, which happened earlier this morning.
Yeah, they were
to the
talking.
Eagles.
Yeah, so they were talking about it before you got that they were fielding calls for that.
Yep.
So that was pretty good on their GM's part right there.
Which, speaking of the Eagles, I don't know how they couldn't make it back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I really don't.
The rich
Yeah.
get richer. I don't know
I
what.
really don't.
they had a
Unreal.
money draft.
They did.
Someone said they may have had the best.
maybe the second best behind us.
I mean, to have that
Lot
team.
of picks. The only reason
Pennsylvania went off in the draft this year.
Yeah, there you go.
there you go.
I would
we'll leave it with
always
that.
say that they did so good because they had so many.
Yeah.
Well, they
Mhm.
had the team that they had going into it, and then you get to turn around and lose in the Super Bowl, and then you walk into the draft with what did they have? 10 picks.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
how,
insane.
how did they
and
They've
get
been
four
all
of,
building it.
I
four
can't
of them
remember.
are in the first 2 rounds. Like that
Was
was
that-
nuts.
Well, how
Because of
did
Wentz?
Minshew
No.
went to the Colts? Did they have him? Did they trade him, or did he was just free agent? Because they may have got a pick.
They got
like a
they
later
got
pick
something
for him.
from New Orleans.
They
for,
got
That's how they got
their
first
9th
round.
pick. They got from Carolina through Chicago. So one of
and that
those
has to
trades.
involve Miles. No, that's not Miles Sanders because he was just a free agent.
Chicago's doing all sorts of wild things. In this
Yeah,
draft.
Chicago's have a good draft too.
Or yeah, no,
I mean,
they
they're making trades on
Yeah.
trades on trades.
yeah.
It's insane.
I thought the first like 15
I thought
How
they
it
had a
started?
good draft too.
how it started, I was like the first 10 picks are just going to be this person trades here, this person trades here, because it started out kind of chaotic.
When did they reduce the draft time?
They increased it.
Oh, like
Oh,
being
yeah.
on the clock?
Yeah, being on the clock.
They
No, it went.
increased it.
I thought it used to
From
be 20
3 minutes to 5 minutes?
No, it's
20
10
minutes?
The
It
first
used to
clock?
be. It used to be. So when they
Now
would
it's
used to
10.
do the because they used to do the first and second round in the same day.
Oh, yeah. You're
and
right.
it was 7 minutes.
Yep.
For the first round pick, and now since they only do on Thursday night the first round, it's increased to 10 minutes.
I don't like that.
Oh, it
I
took
don't like
forever.
Oh, it's just for
Just
advertisement. All it is.
It's
Yeah.
becau-
I'm
it's
sure
just-
all the
it's just
teams have it
viewership.
figured out, but yeah,
It's
that's
just viewership. They just want eyes on the
Yeah,
NFL. That's
I
all it
know.
is.
I
it,
think
it
I'm being-
gives the organization some time to figure it out. But you got to think that they have every player listed as a backup plan. Like if this guy gets taken,
Yeah.
this is who we're going with. If he gets
The
taken, this is
one
who we're
thing
going
I
with.
would be interested to see is since they've made that made that switch, to see how many increase in trades.
Oh,
Mm.
'Cause
yeah.
I do feel, and this is just like a feeling, there's no statistical proof behind this thought, but I do feel as though there have been more like first round
Yep.
picks, trade picks,
Mm-hmm.
than there have been in like prior years.
Yeah.
So either teams are just selling for it, that's like the new thing, or people are they have more time to like, and they're cracking under the stress. Those extra 3 minutes are getting to them.
Man, 3 minutes though. I just for whatever reason I felt like it was going faster this time.
This one, like I was watching it this morning, and it was driving me nuts because the team would pick, and then it immediately starts showing highlights of that player, but it shows so many highlights that you're watching the bottom of the screen, and you're like, no, that team just picked. Okay, another team just picked. And then they're like, then they go 2 picks back to show you highlights, and I'm like, we're already 4
All right,
picks
guys. Sorry
ahead.
for the small interruption there.
Either
We're back,
catch up, like,
ready
shorten the
to
highlight film.
jump back into
We'll
the
see
tight end
all
who we
the
were talking about
Videos back in the day.
on whether or not we are keeping Gentry or Hayward or.
Do you have a stats?
Just
like snippets of those.
That new tight
I
end?
can pull up his stats
That would be tight.
from his call it. Who's?
Georgia.
Yeah, the tight end.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they broadcast.
But we haven't signed.
People were like,
We haven't re-signed Derek
back in
Watt,
those days, people would grab the
and they
papers
said
night.
this morning I was reading something that said Hayward could basically play the fullback position for us.
Ooh.
So
And you'd be a pass catcher too.
yeah,
So he's definitely a blocking tight end. Now we have it. He played 15 games in 2022 and got 28 receptions, 2 touchdowns. What do you guys think
So,
about our third
that's all. But that's what we need. We need him to
block,
protect.
block.
Yeah, we need him to.
That's what we were focused on.
And,
Is
and he's
protecting
a
Kenny.
capable pass catcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
So
but
that's
it'll
good.
be perfect. We're
He's gonna be a depth player if.
second and goal, and we can play action. And he rolls out to the right, and bam, he's wide open, catches the ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good pick. We had, let's see, we got Nick Herberg from Wisconsin, linebacker.
Yep.
He's
That
could
was
be a
need.
baby Watt. He probably won't produce, or he will not produce like Watt did right off the bat, but
Who would
someone
though?
could.
Not
Yeah.
too many people
Mhm.
could come.
I mean,
in
they
and-
didn't. Yeah, when we drafted Watt, people thought he wasn't gonna be when he ended up.
And did you
Dude.
know we traded or picked up from free agency? I can't remember. His brother, Nate Herberg.
So
Yeah.
we got
Okay.
We like the brothers on the teams,
Yeah.
I guess.
That is. Yeah, we
I didn't
got
know that.
him from. Man, where did we pick him
I
up
can't
from?
remember. Is it the
So,
Lions or
When we
Seattle?
drafted him, I told Kelly, I said, "That's weird. I thought we already had that guy on the team." And then yeah, it's Nate and Nick.
Yep.
So we have what
Sweet.
3 sets of brothers on the
Well,
team.
Well, we got rid of Terrell, didn't we?
yes. We don't have any of the
So
Edmonds
no more of the
anymore.
Edmonds.
And no more Edmonds, but I mean we got.
Oh, we got
we got the
they're not.
Watt brothers,
Yep.
and then we
For
got
now.
For
For
now,
now.
yeah, I hear Derek Watt might be
and then we got the
piecing out.
those ones Edbergs,
The
or whatever.
Herbergs?
Herbergs, yeah. And then we got Hayward, the Haywards. 3 sets of brothers. It's a good family.
I don't know
locker
why I'm
room.
That's
always
right.
stuck on them being cousins, but
Who?
the Haywards.
No, probably because there's just a big age gap.
I don't know. But we only have a few more picks, and that's in the 7th round. So You never know
Those
what
are the
those
money
guys
wide
can produce.
receivers.
But
Yep, we'll take
Those
wide
are
receiver.
some money wide
Yeah.
receiver spots right
yeah,
there.
speaking of wide receivers, you got Allen Robinson,
Yes.
who Doug wants to start over Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
I can read it in the text. Perfect.
What do you mean?
You said he's in perfect number 2.
He is.
So don't you think
So then-
Pickens is number 1?
Yes, sir.
And
So-
so then he
so
would
then that
start
starts
over
over
Deontay
Deontay.
Johnson.
I'm just saying those words never came out of my mouth that he is going to start over Deontay Johnson. I never said those words.
You just
It's just how you
a
want it to
subtle
be.
hint at it is what it was.
You know,
I think
okay, it's not that I want it. If I would love more than anyone if Deontay Johnson proved me wrong and just shows up and he is just a stud. I would love for him to prove me wrong.
okay, I would too. So then we we could bring it up
more?
in the next podcast.
I would. I'd be like, you know what? I was wrong. You killed it.
I think he will kill it this year. I think so. But we've talked a lot about that man,
Yes, we have.
thanks to Doug. But
I think it was all things.
No, I think Robinson's that is a good person to have. That's a veteran presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Solid.
And he's from Penn State. Weird. Huh? We were just stacking up on Penn State guys.
our
Penn State and Georgia.
our secondaries,
Yeah.
I think it's coming around. But
Yeah.
who's going to be our strong safety?
That
Buda
is.
Baker.
I was hoping so bad that we would see that this
Yeah.
weekend.
I don't think we will now that the draft's
No.
over, but he would have been
That would have been
that would've
unstoppable.
amazing.
So we don't
have
know.
him and Mika.
Uh,
Who's the dude? We did pick up the guy
Keanu Neal.
Keanu O'Neal from the Bucks. He'll probably
him
start
and-
next to Minka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Casey.
Yeah, KZ. Yeah, he'll have a lot more playing time this year, I think.
Are they going to switch their – well, because right now we're only running with our defensive scheme 2 cornerbacks, 2 safeties, right? Like our normal.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He had a stint in
You-
Dallas. Keanu O'Neal.
He
So
did,
how
yeah.
much?
What's-
So how
what
much
is-
playing time is Porter going to get with that?
Yeah, do you guys think he's gonna start?
I don't think. No,
No, I think
unless someone's
'Cause we have
hurt.
Levi
unless
Wallace, right?
Levi,
Yep, we got
which
Levi
he
Wallace.
played. He was
Pretty
hurt
God,
a
he's
lot.
healthy.
He was hurt a lot, but when he was there, he was solid.
Yep.
Remember him picking
I
off.
think you'll see him on the field right away.
Yeah.
Really? Steelers do like to start their first round picks right out the gates.
I think, especially at corner, you got to get him out on the field. That's one of the best ways you get them that experience.
He's a huge cornerback.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
Yes,
He's
he
great
is.
in man
putting
coverage.
some because he likes to stop the run. I was reading that's like one of his big
Oh, really?
things. He's aggressive in the run game. I wouldn't mind us maybe like looking into putting a couple more pounds on him and like turning him into maybe like a husky position. You know what I mean? Like a
Kind of like how Hilton played.
little bit,
Or-
yeah, but like that hybrid linebacker ish type.
Mhm.
You know, because he's 6'3".
Yeah.
He's got
He's coming in the NFL.
I
He's
want him to
naturally gonna
stay
get a
at
couple-
corner.
Yeah.
He
couple-
needs to
yeah.
just stay there. We need a lockdown corner. It's
Yes.
been years since we've had a lockdown corner. I
I
mean,
d-
Joe Hayden produced very well, but it's almost hard to say he was a lockdown corner. Yeah, I would love to see
like an
someone.
island, like a Darrell.
Yeah,
we
like
know.
like
Yeah, we
Antonio
did not,
Cromartie
yeah.
would be so. It would be so cool to have someone like that, and I think that's what we're missing because we got the star linebacker, we got the star safety,
We need one in every
we need
position.
a corner, yeah.
Well, we got, yeah.
And Hayden, like nothing against Hayden, he was fantastic.
he was
I just don't think
No,
he
he did.
was that
Well, we don't.
lockdown guy.
Yeah, but our defense doesn't play like we're a zone blitz defense.
True.
So it's not.
but
the
Porter's more
scheme.
his field is
I would
man
love
coverage.
Me and DJ talked about it. I would love for our. I think it's time for our defensive scheme to change.
But it
It's- I
won't.
think it's dated,
Yep. Won't change.
but
Porter will. He's gonna miss some big tackles though. I can tell you that right now
don't
because
say that.
They,
he will.
They did say he was
he
bad
he
in open
hits,
space.
Oh, good.
but he hits like his dad. He is a linebacker that's way faster. Yeah, he's,
That's what I'm saying.
but he's gonna miss some. Just be ready because he did at Penn State. He missed some, but then he comes back and makes up for it. But he is gonna miss a couple, probably in the
I
flats.
heard a couple bad things about him in his grades. Like I heard like the good things and stuff. the thing that scares me is like one of his talents was like because of his size, he's good at like rerouting receivers in college.
Yeah.
That's not gonna fly as much in the NFL.
Yeah, he's gonna get penalties
Yeah,
all day. But that's something he can work on. That's something that can.
Yeah, but he also stepped
Be taught.
up and shut down a lot of the top college NFL prospect receivers. in
That's true.
college, So
that's true. And he's in the Big Ten, so it's a legit conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll do good.
He's gonna be the one player to watch.
But you were saying you think Moore is on the chopping block for that tackle position more than Okafor?
Yeah, I literally, when we drafted him, that was like the first thing they said was this guy's going to be good to fill in for Dan Moore, who has underperformed. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
I feel like Okafor, we yell his name at the TV.
I
way
thought we
more.
already let him go.
Okafor.
Yeah.
He last year we
Yeah.
yelled at it like those just blatant, not like getting beat physically, just the mental errors and
Yeah.
missing
there
blocks
were
altogether.
a couple. I feel like there's a couple folks on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, you can't go wrong.
They just come
by
in
replacing
and
him.
if he can, because he played left tackle or right tackle.
This guy we drafted, left tackle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
It's
that's what,
blindsided.
yeah.
It's a very
And
important.
that's what we
person.
need. Yeah.
And
Some would say the most important.
Keep Kenny
But-
upright. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Okafor was already gone because it seemed like every time we had like a big third down conversion, they're like, holding.
Yeah. The
I get that pain.
Yeah.
your line is significantly better than ours, though.
It's not.
It's
not.
Ours is so bad.
That's such a an uneducated Cowboys thought.
Is it?
Yes. You've by saying something like that. That's saying that's how our line was like Zeke's rookie year when he came in the league.
Yeah,
we had a phenomenal line.
You
Our
guys usually
line,
do.
our line that year, we had Travis Frederick, future Hall of Famer, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith. I mean, those guys all Hall of Fame linemen. Tyron Smith hasn't been able to stay on the field. Travis Frederick's out of the league, and the only player left is Zach.
Yeah.
And our center that replaced Travis Frederick, I think he's got to be the weakest center in the league.
Really?
Yeah, every time we snap the ball, someone just breathes heavy, falls over. It's just it's rough. It's rough. So what do we do in the second round? We draft a tight end. That we don't.
perfect.
Yeah.
That one, people called that because the way he played was so similar.
Yeah.
And
Similar to what?
what's his face?
Whitman.
Whitman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
Okay.
said that Jerry Jones would not be able to let it go.
Oh,
Like even if they didn't need him, there's like, oh, I gotta have him.
I mean, we don't have a true playmaker at tight end, but we have good tight ends. But we have a bigger need at line, and I would much rather gotten a better lineman at two.
When you have a
second
good
round.
line, it can hide so many other flaws on your team. You can hide the
Oh my
flaws on the
gosh.
defense because
It's-
they're not on the
I
field.
mean, look at the Georgia
Try it
Eagles.
down.
I mean, Philadelphia Bulldog. I mean,
Yeah. Might as well. It's just
look what they're doing. I mean, that line on the offensive line, their offensive line is top 5 in the league, and look at their defensive line, top 5 in the league.
Yeah.
scary.
I
Well,
think last year they had, I think I heard something. They had 4 players on the defensive line that had almost double-digit sacks. Or
They
close
did all.
to it.
Yeah, there's 4 of
Jeez.
them that did have double digit.
And then here, look what they did. They went out and got one of the top 3 draft prospects,
yeah.
and then one of the top linebackers. So,
And they
They're
already,
as a Cowboys fan,
They're
I'm
looking
stoked.
ridiculous.
and they already have Jordan Davis just sitting there because he was a little banged up last year. So they just have him waiting.
And he already got a year of
Yep.
coaching from their All-Pro
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagle icon. I can't remember his name, but he was their defensive tackle for like a decade. He was
Fletcher Cox.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big
So
boy.
he's already got a year of under
Yeah.
that guy's wing. So like
And Hargrave.
I
and
mean,
they lost Hargrave, and then they're just like,
Yeah,
oh,
where'd
that's
he go?
okay.
Saints,
Cardinals,
Cardinals.
right? I think
I
it's
don't know.
Cardinals.
Speaking of
Don't matter.
Cardinals,
so yeah, I
Cardinals,
mean, if
feel
you
like
have a
are
solid
falling
line, I mean,
apart.
everything you build from the core on out. I mean, it's just it's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
it can hide. Like if you have a mediocre quarterback, give him more time to throw. You know what I mean? It helps out everything.
Yeah,
Whose stats
So
you got pulled up?
Okafor had 4 penalties last year.
That's it.
Yeah,
Oh my
which is
God.
really surprising because it did seem like we constantly yelled at him.
I think it was
And
more.
then it says 4
The
according to
missed blocks,
PFF.
though.
Was 4.
Do they track missed blocks?
Something we can look into.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Moore had 10 penalties.
Okay.
So
All right, so see you later. Sorry.
I think
Like
DJ's
holding
right
or
on.
false start.
I
would say that I would
Just
like to
says
say
4.
that holdings
I love
impact the
this.
game more, which
Okafor-
they do. But when it's
Okafor
like,
allowed 3 sacks. And then you go to Dan Moore. Let's see. He allowed 7. So Dan Moore is on the
Yo.
chopping block.
so Dan Moore was
yeah.
the guy that the one play that Kenny got a concussion, he turned left and blocked nobody, and the linebacker came running free and just laid out our quarterback.
Yeah, everything is pointing
that's-
towards Dan Moore's stats as
Yeah.
compared to Okafor.
yeah.
I think what I remember from watching Okafor is that there were just a couple of things where he didn't do them bad. It was just like, what are you doing?
What are you?
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, I think it was-
probably more in the run game than
I think it was like he was getting like tackled for a lot. Like he wasn't enabling the run game to get going.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't rely on running to his side as much, you know. And as far as like, what do we do a lot? We did our branding schemes like zone runs, I think, because we couldn't just do straight up power runs.
Yeah.
I don't even know why we're talking about Okafor because he's right tackle. Dan
Yeah,
Moore's
but
left,
tackle's
so
a tackle. I
Yeah.
feel like you can swap them around wherever you want.
you
know?
could,
You
but,
can, but you
I would
can't.
rather have that player out of Georgia, Broderick Jones, come out and go right to where he's used to playing, and
The
start right
toughest
off the bat.
spot on the line.
hell yeah, give him a challenge. He probably
Yeah.
wants it. Oh, they all want it.
Hopefully, he's a big guy too.
They want to get paid.
He's got
Yeah, he's
size.
big.
He's huge. So
I
that'll.
mean, they've been playing that position for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year we had Tyron Smith. We had him come back from his injury and put him on the right side. He played his entire career on the left side. All-Pro, Hall of Famer. We put him on the right tackle,
Just fell apart.
and he was just okay.
Just wildly mediocre.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to see him and Dan Moore fight.
I
Jones-
like maybe
Jones and
maybe
Moore.
it'll spark
Jones versus
more
Moore.
like
And
him sitting there seeing
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
He's like,
hopefully.
oh, my career's on
It
the
better.
line. That's changed
Yep.
people a lot of times.
It very well could.
I appreciated your video you sent, the Jets one with Zach.
oh my gosh,
Yeah, Rodgers
they're
finally getting.
flying all over. Like there was just the endless supply of just Rodgers and Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
TikTok
You sent the
shorts.
one of him like saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna make his life a living hell practice." That just shows Aaron Rodgers walking up in his
Walking out.
wife beater.
in his
Yep.
Con Air
Yeah, it's
outfit.
Con Air
Yeah.
out. That was just perfect. I think
And then there was the other one with the Napoleon Dynamite, like Jets
Oh,
off-season
yeah, that one was
footage.
pretty good.
Yeah, I saw-
Yep.
Yeah.
Uncle Rico.
you can leave.
I like
Yeah.
the one with Zach Wilson showing up with Aaron Rodgers' mom, though. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that'll get into his head.
I don't know,
But
I did. They're keeping
no surprise with
around,
him
too.
going there.
Yeah, he's crazy if he thinks he's ever gonna beat out Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he won't.
He's crazy.
No.
He's not very good at football. Like in
I'm-
that,
I was curious to see like what your guys' thoughts on that were. I mean, because do you feel like the Jets overpaid?
yes.
Okay, so that's a yes.
What, I don't even know what they paid him. I didn't
It's
dig
easy
to
too
say
far
that
into it. I
before the
kind of already
season.
knew Rodgers was going to be on the
They
Jets,
gave him
so
their
when it
first
happened, I was
this
just
year.
like, eh.
They gave them. I think they swapped first.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then,
they did.
And then the Jets gave their first. Well, they gave their second next year, but if he plays 65% or
Yeah.
more, it converts to a first.
Which that's when it really
Which 65% of the snaps, I feel. I mean,
was
he's
the last
gonna-
time he didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
You'd have to get really
Yeah.
hurt to
So
not
essentially,
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a first. So there's a legitimate chance, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers doesn't play for the Jets, I think he could be a one and done for them. So
could,
there's
yeah.
a legitimate chance
Go to the Vikings.
that the
Yeah.
Packers are using the Jets' first round pick next year for a quarterback that they got rid of, and the Jets won't even have that quarterback that they got on the roster.
It's easy to
Definitely
say
possible.
now that they overpaid, but I mean, this season comes up, and if he takes them deep into the playoffs, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like maybe they didn't, you know. If,
They
like,
do
he
have
pans out.
pieces.
They
Yeah.
have a
They
lot of
have
pieces.
pieces. I
They
mean,
went-
if they have a quarterback,
Yeah, they went from not a chance at all to Super Bowl contenders.
Right.
I think you pay whatever you want to pay
Yep.
because that's going to – I mean, you're going to get the revenue from the fans actually wanting to go to the games now.
They're
and
going to get that.
the- it'll pay for itself in the end.
I mean, they
In my
have
opinion.
pieces. I think their biggest thing is I don't think they have the best line to protect him.
Right. Yeah, that is the
That was a part of, I think, the Patriots getting them because the
Yep.
Jets
Yeah.
were
They
going
knew.
to take
yeah,
him
they knew.
at that spot, and when they traded
Yeah.
up, they took him.
They can have
But-
Dan Moore. Trade us for
But I
Dan
mean,
Moore.
they have pieces. They have a couple wide receivers.
Big-
They've got a
Lazard.
great defense. I mean,
Yeah, their
defense
defense
their
is
running
awesome.
back. Their running back is.
He's back now,
a
yeah. He
monster.
will be. He'll be healthy.
He has,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
have,
I
he has
Some could
two
say
tight
so.
ends.
If he
Brees
didn't
Hall.
get hurt, he would have been he would have led
Rookie
the
of the
league.
year.
Oh yeah,
Easily.
he
was killing it.
went off
With freaking Zach Wilson as quarterback.
with like 8 different quarterbacks.
Well, I think he got hurt before he actually went
Did he?
through
Like-
multiple quarterbacks.
But just the way that team, with their record and how close they came to going to the playoffs, with how many starting quarterbacks did they have last year?
3 or
3
4.
or 4, maybe 4.
yeah, it was definitely
well, that one kid
3 or
came
more.
in and got like his rib cage destroyed.
Well,
Mike
Mike White.
Yeah,
There was White. There was Flacco.
Flacco,
There
Cowboys.
was
Wilson.
Wilson. There may have been one more. I don't know, but still, even with that, your star running back goes out. I think they did really well.
Your receivers crying, complaining the whole time too, which he should have been their number one receiver going into that year.
Yep.
Elijah Moore.
Yep.
But then Garrett Wilson took over
Yeah.
as a rookie. So yeah, they're really just they went
yeah,
way
I
up in
mean,
the rankings with getting a quarterback because that's all they needed.
Yeah. Lazard, Hardman, Corey Davis.
They got McCole Hardman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Corey Davis
I forgot
and Garrett
that.
Wilson.
damn.
And then CJ Uzma and the other tight end. What's the other
Yeah.
tight end's name? He's two good tight ends.
the AFC is going to be tough.
Yeah, it is.
Because you got, in my opinion, you've got I'm not talking like records, but I'm just saying legitimate playoff contending teams. You've got the Dolphins, I think will be a contending playoff team. Just
Yeah.
on paper.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
on
yeah,
paper.
yeah.
Not saying how it will actually shake
They
out
should.
when
I mean,
play.
they started out like
Right.
Yeah.
the AFC Championship
Um,
kind of team.
You've got the Jets. You've got the Bills. You've got
That's just
the
the
Ra-
NFC East.
Yeah.
that's just AFC East. That's 3 teams right
Yeah,
there.
AFC.
You've got the Ravens and Bengals, and you guys made significant improvements, so you guys are going to be in that
Yeah,
conversation.
because we missed
Thank
it by
you.
a half a
Thank you.
game.
So that's
Yeah, with
Yeah, we missed
Like,
it by half a game.
a
so
brand new
we've went
team.
through 2 divisions, and there's 6 legitimate teams.
And then you got
Obviously.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's
Jacksonville's in that
definitely.
mix.
I don't think the Colts are there, even though they
I
got
don't
that
think the
Anthony
Colts. The
Richardson
I don't
Colts
think
guy.
the
and
Titans
Texans
are either.
I think the Colts and Texans are still rebuilding.
Mhm.
The Falcon. No, that's NFC.
I don't think Titans
No, I don't
are
think
going to
the
be
Titans
around
are
there.
there.
They're going to struggle.
They've. I'm confused where they're at.
I
They
feel
were
like they
doing
took a
so
step
good
back.
last year.
Yeah,
They took a step back. I
Yeah,
feel
they
like.
did so good last year, and they kind of fell apart. But I feel like
They just
they're-
keep getting hurt. They're the
they
most
do
injured
keep getting
team
hurt.
Yeah.
My goodness,
the past
they get
2
hurt
years. The
so
most injured
much.
team. Which
So like I don't.
Well, they just
I don't
picked up
get it.
what's his face
figure out what
from
you guys are drinking there.
Florida?
Who?
Who's their quarterback they just picked up?
They got Will Levis, the Titans.
Will
Oh, yeah.
Levis.
Yeah.
Which that was what talk about Wilds.
Yeah, so
That
blew
was nuts.
everybody's
So then you got
mind.
them, and then you have. I'm totally missing another.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
and-
Yeah, the Chiefs. Oh my goodness.
Some
That
would
whole
say
division.
they're-
Except the Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't think Jimmy's the
I don't-
answer.
I think they
I
took
don't
a
either.
step back.
Yeah. So
The Raiders fans don't agree.
on paper, you've got
Ones I know do.
10
10 teams.
at
or-
least
Yeah.
plus playoff teams in that.
Yep. Which the Browns
conference.
could even do something too this year. It's hard to say because their
I wouldn't be
organization,
surprised.
but like they do
wouldn't be
have
surprised.
Watson
I
actually
I mean, I
being
would. I
able
feel
to
like
play
if you're
a
a betting
full
man,
year.
I mean, history has shown.
Oh, what they do? They like self-inflicted. Yeah, I could see
Around
that.
week 6 or 7 every year. They just
They have the pieces to do it.
They
Yeah.
do, yeah, but it
That-
just
okay,
depends
I'll
on
say
how
that.
they
Hey, you got
put the puzzle together.
yeah. The Chargers added more pieces
There, yeah.
to their
what?
offense.
The Chargers.
You've got the
They're-
Broncos.
Broncos, I
jeez.
think, are going to have a turnaround
Yep.
year.
We
Sean
said
Payton.
that last year.
Yeah,
Though.
this is Sean
Yeah, but
Payton.
they got
now.
Sean Payton
that
now,
one was
like-
that's crazy though.
I
No
was
one, I think,
one-
believed that
I
was
said
gonna
they were
happen.
going to win the division last year, and I don't think
Yeah.
I was alone in that. Whenever they picked him up,
I'm like,
that's what it
anybody,
was. Everyone.
you were definitely not alone.
yeah. And then when
It's-
it happened, it was
The
just
entire country
shocking.
thought. I think the entire country was super pumped to see how that division was
Yeah.
going to play out. And 16 weeks or 17 weeks later, we were all super disappointed.
Yeah.
At how
We're
that
like, well, that
conference-
figures.
Yeah.
Chiefs won.
Yeah.
Well, it was just the fact that like the Raiders flopped, the Broncos flopped. I mean, the Chargers lived up a little bit, and
But they were
the Chiefs
injured.
dominated. But
Yeah,
it
the
was like-
Raiders really should have had a way better year.
Because Raiders were in the playoffs the year before,
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, they've only gotten better."
they were.
Yeah,
it was
they
a
got
tie.
the best
year before,
receiver
it was a tie
in the
from
league,
being all four
arguably.
teams being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That year,
yeah, that's insane.
and that's how you guys ended up getting in that year because they didn't tie.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah. But if they would have tied, all four of those teams would have got in, and the next year,
Yeah.
the Broncos and the Raiders both just are terrible.
The Broncos last year were exactly how we're talking about the Jets this year.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're Super Bowl
So I feel like-
contenders, and then they
I feel
dropped
like
the
I feel like
ball.
the Broncos' biggest pickup is the fact that they got Sean Payton.
Hit
Mhm.
it 100%.
Yeah, I think that's all they got. I don't remember them getting anybody else. That's
Well, they gave a lot
noticeable.
away.
yeah.
Well, allegedly, according to everyone in the league, the reason they did it, they put everything on that head coach. So, well, this year we're going to see how true that was.
Yeah. If they are
I think it's
awful, if Russell Wilson is awful, then it's not the head coach.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how the head coach is like, I'm going to make you throw really bad. I know. When they're all
No.
saying that, I was like, yo, he had a horrible read, made horrible
Yeah.
passes. I'm like, I don't. he
I mean,
didn't-
I think a part of
Yeah.
that, I mean, is definitely how they're like dissecting that, behind the scenes from game to game. But yeah, I mean, Sean Payton's he's proven that he's just that good.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine this year.
Yeah, I think the AFC is stacked, which will
Yep.
be crazy because those are going to be a lot of really. It's just as a football fan, like that's just going to be awesome games week in, week out.
right.
Mm-hmm.
In the NFC, who we got to worry about besides the Eagles?
Besides the Eagles,
Like, who's like the big competition in that?
So
conference?
49ers.
playoff teams, in
Niners
the
would be
NFC. So you got the Eagles, the Cowboys in the East. I think the Giants are on paper. I think
I think they're going to be
Washington-
identical to last year. Giants.
So
think
they'll be
they're
like
also-
They might
NFC
win, like,
right
one
there.
playoff
The
game,
NFC
and that's
East.
it.
The NFC East is always so weird. The one thing, so the last 20 years, the winner has been different in that division.
Yeah, that's
I think,
right.
I think the Eagles might have finally changed that. I would not be surprised to see them win that this year. It hurts me to say that.
Eagles winning the division?
I mean,
Oh, without a doubt. I would put money on that one.
Do you think Hurts was a fluke?
No.
Hurts?
Nope. Nope. A
a
fluke?
fluke?
Fluke. He had a
No.
fluke here.
Nope.
No, and this is why.
I think it was all because of his injury.
I think they. I think we just said it. They built their team from the core out, right? And what did they do last year? They drafted, or the year before, the year prior, they drafted that kid out of Alabama, I think.
Got
and then-
AJ Brown.
Oh.
And then last year
Yeah.
they traded for AJ Brown.
Yeah.
So now he's got weapons, and then now they just picked up Swift to
Yeah.
replace Sanders.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
For-
big.
For
Along with Rashard Penny.
Rashard Penny hasn't shown anything in the NFL though.
and then they have
He's a good backup running
and,
back.
and then they have a solid defense. So that's the thing. I mean, it's just and then they got all of these rookies coming in that are just
studs.
In college, they were studs. So
I gotta correct myself. For some reason, my head immediately went to Wentz because we were talking about him earlier, and that's not who you mentioned.
No, I
It's
said Hurts.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
My bad. So that's why I'm correcting myself.
Oh.
It's not a fluke.
Not
think
at
he's
You
a
all.
don't
good
think it's a
quarterback.
fluke?
No.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have another standout year again.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
think-
how he couldn't. Jeremy
I
just
think if
listed
it
off
is,
why.
it's because of his team. I don't think he's as good as his stats resemble. I think his team around him's so good.
I think as a quarterback, I think he is. This is killing me, because he's the
Yep.
Eagles, but I got to give the man his props. I mean, he played well. He did.
Oh, he
good.
did.
He's playing
He
smart.
stepped up. He's not
just-
turning the ball over. I mean, he's. It's hard to from if you're just talking about last year. I mean, he was. I think he earned his contract.
No, he earned it for sure. I just
Yeah.
think there's so many other quarterbacks in the league. If you put him into that situation right now, they would thrive.
So what tier?
That's my only thing.
What tier would you put him in? Like, what other quarterback would be?
It's hard to tell because, I don't know, because I watched him in college, obviously.
I
And
thought it was good in college too, though.
he lost his job in college.
He lost his job because props to Nick Saban. He's got big ones. He wanted to win that game.
Yep.
And he did everything. He did everything in his power to go out and win that game, and they did. He made a switch,
Right, and then
and they won.
he did. And then the next year, though, he wasn't the starter.
He wasn't.
And, yeah.
And then what happened? Hurts transferred, went to Oklahoma, and then what?
Yeah, he did really good there.
Exactly.
But, again, that situation
Guy
in
wins.
Oklahoma.
The guy goes and he wins.
Yeah. I just think he's always been in really good. I'm not saying he's bad. I just don't think I've seen him in a position of let's see how good you are because the circumstances aren't great. Because at Oklahoma he had Lincoln Riley. He had a really good situation there. That offense is built for big numbers. You know what I mean? And then at the Eagles, I don't know in what category they're behind on. Because they're stacked everywhere. Like you said, he has a great line, and I think that a great line makes I haven't seen him in distress to see how he's going to react, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying he's bad. I just don't know. So when I asked that question, was it a fluke, do you guys think? I don't necessarily think it was a fluke, but I don't think it wasn't a fluke either. Does that make sense?
I don't think we'll ever see him not be in distress.
I mean, I think that's
Honestly,
yeah. I mean, it's kind of the fortunate for him. He got drafted into that team in that situation.
Yeah. Oh, it's very fortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got drafted into
Yep.
an amazing team,
Yeah.
and was his first couple years a fluke? People probably ask that question. And
Now they do for sure.
and then
Look, he doesn't have all the tools and everything around him. The same coach.
yeah, but I mean, I don't think you would say that now looking back that they were a fluke. I mean, he went out and he performed in Seattle for a number of years.
Yeah.
After all those weapons left, after the Legion of Boom disintegrated.
Yeah. So I don't think Russell Wilson's a fluke at all.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to say that now. We have his first year. I think he got hurt. He played and then he got hurt. I think.
Who?
Hurts.
I don't know.
Hurts got hurt.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, and then there's what's his fit. There's other quarterbacks that aren't in good situations and they still perform. Like I think Matt Stafford for years wasn't in the most ideal situation,
Oh yeah.
and he showed everybody look how good of a quarterback I am.
So you think if Hurts went to the Lions, you don't think he would produce like he's producing? It's hard to say because it's
because I don't think
that's
anybody
a hard
would,
argument
though.
to
Nobody
ever
would. Nobody would go to that team in that
really
during those years
have
and put up the same numbers. But would he? I guess the question would be, would he have done as well as Stafford did?
there. Yeah, that would be the
Well,
argument you want to place.
To that same point though, look who Stafford was throwing the ball to.
One guy.
Yeah, one guy.
Yeah.
That's all you needed. He was
Yeah.
playing
He's like
versus
a
three.
hooper.
You throw it up.
I
to
saw
him, three guys
that
on
one
him.
guy out jump 3 Cowboys defenders and come down with the ball
Yeah.
and go on and just have like 250 yards of receiving in one game.
Yeah,
like,
that was
that
pretty
one
good.
guy.
He's pretty good.
Try-
I don't think Hurts is a fluke.
yeah.
That's a question that we'll have to like reflect back on. You know,
Yeah.
it's because it's still very early on in his career. I mean, I see your point. He's definitely in a very solid situation. If you're a young quarterback and you're like, man, if I could come into any team,
Perfect.
Well, like
that's a team
Yeah.
that's got
Brock
a solid
Purdy.
line.
Right.
Brock Purdy, he's
same
on
situation.
the same exact situation. So-
100%.
but you would
100%.
honestly, with that player, you would kind of say that who knows what's going to happen next year because
Right.
that could have been a fluke. Could have been one of those things where it's
I
going to get
agree.
into his head now that
That's
he's
where
the
I'm
starting
at.
guy.
Is he though?
Niners fans think he is.
I think so,
Didn't he just
but I
need
don't
that
know if he's going to
surgery?
even
Is
be
he
able
gonna
to
be
play.
back? I don't know how you pick. Like you still have your draft
I still think
pick.
You do
The
Trey
guy
Lance.
that you were.
Trey
you
Lance.
still put Trey out
but
there.
The only
a lot
thing
of people are saying that.
you got to be concerned about Trey Lance though, like because whenever you get so far removed from when they're drafted and so many injuries, are they going to be shook? Are they going to be the same kind of guy? So I think that's kind of in the back of their head. Like you can't wait too long.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like the
I think-
49ers fans, man, they just can't make up their mind who they want. They have Jimmy Garoppolo, who's playing well for them, and then they get Trey Lance, they want him.
Yep.
And then Trey Lance gets hurt, and then they want Brock Purdy, so they want
Yeah.
him.
Well, the situation, it seems like any quarterback could go in there
exactly.
and be pretty good.
He had McCaffrey
you know?
thrown at one point.
Yep. That's
That was a frustrating game. But I mean that team's stacked too. That's a
That
great
team
running
is.
team, great offensive
Mm-hmm.
line, and I think that it's set up for that. Like
That would be the only way I could argue the fluke deal, though. Is I don't think Hurts is the fluke. I think he's proven it because he has played a couple years and he's done steady those couple years.
so you think he's better than Lamar Jackson?
yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
if you from running the ball wise, no, but
Well, yeah.
No, he's a
You
running
know,
back.
one's a quarterback, one's a running
overall,
back.
But I
I mean
think running the
overall
ball, yeah,
impact
it's a
on the impact on the game.
yeah, I think
I don't think Lamar's team's as good.
if
You put
I
Lamar
think-
on the Eagles, then
What could happen?
we're gonna be
there?
having the is Lamar a fluke?
I don't think so
conversation.
because he's already proven that he can have a good season more than once.
I think the Ravens are going to be amazing for 3 games, and then they're going to be hurt again.
I hope so.
You got Odell and Lamar that are going to just kill it for 3 games, and that's it.
Well, and they drafted that receiver too.
Yep.
Zay
And
Flowers.
Yeah.
Well, what's his face was supposed to go off last year?
so they got
Who's
he
this?
got hurt.
they
What
got
was
the
his name?
talent.
That receiver.
They've definitely got the talent. But I heard a
Duvernay.
stat the other day. They haven't had
Duvernay.
Yeah.
a 1,000-yard receiver or something like that in quite some time.
The Ravens.
Yeah.
Probably not
That's
since
because they got a
like,
quarterback getting 8,000 yards in a season rushing.
So-
So, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard.
Like,
You know, you can't throw it when you're
Am
running.
you know, so I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if you do put Lamar on the Eagles, are the Eagles as good?
no.
Because is he running that offense as well? Is he trying to use his feet too much? Is he getting the ball to A.J. Brown as much as A.J. Brown needs to get the ball? Or is he getting it out to the playmakers as much? You know, like, because he's just not he's, in my opinion, he's not that great of a quarterback.
I think
He's-
Hurts is smarter
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
because I think he'll do what that play call is. He'll sit there and he'll throw it if it's a throw. Where Lamar he'll drop back and he'll be like, oh, if he's not wide open, he's not going to throw it, and then he's just going to start running. But I think Hurts will let that play break down because I think he knows how to see it better than Lamar.
Hurts, I think, is a better quarterback. Lamar is just a baller, man. He just
Yeah,
just
he's
balls
friggin'
out. He
he'd
just-
be fantastic for.
He's a
street-
highlight guy. Not
He
as
is.
much as
Street football.
He just
He's
he
a
just
good
goes out and he
quarterback,
gets
yeah.
the job
But-
done any way it needs to get done, and sometimes it's through the air. Most of the time it's with his feet.
Yeah.
And I think that year he strung it together and he won. He got an MVP trophy out of it, but you know, I think there's a reason why we haven't seen that done with him year after year after year, like we have seen with Mahomes and we're seeing with like Burrow, and you know, I know that's killing you, but you know,
We haven't
it's
seen shit.
Lamar's
Burrow's in a pretty not the line. His line's not the best, but
not.
he's in a
His line was
pretty
awful.
good
His
situation
line
for
was
weapons.
awful.
I still think he has the best receiving core in the NFL.
I would agree with that.
So he has that. He has a great running back, but his line isn't.
But here,
when they went to the Super Bowl, his line was like the worst line in the whole
His
entire
line was
league.
This year
Yeah.
it wasn't good. And
This year,
'cause
too.
They were surprised. I can't remember.
but
who
Burrow
they
got
beat,
drafted. He got drafted with his receiver. So it's not like he came into that situation. He got drafted with those guys. His line was awful. Like the best part about that team was that his defense was okay, and then
He's a freak.
and then he got hurt, and then the next year is when they got his receiver, Chase.
Yep.
Yeah.
he
So
got
they
hurt
actually
his
picked up-
first year.
Yeah. He got hurt his first year.
That makes it
And the
crazy.
next
Bounce
year-
back from that
And
injury. the
then
way he
literally
did.
just goes all out.
And then they picked up his
All those
they
years.
picked up his buddy from LSU the next year, and they go
Mhm.
off to the freaking Super Bowl with a line that's a revolving door.
He hasn't
For
had a bad
defensive
year.
linemen.
Burrow has played.
Yeah. So
Phenomenal.
I mean,
I think he's the most
every year.
consistent quarterback I've ever seen in my life. Is
You're
from the
killing
point
DJ.
he's come in. I know I am, but am I wrong?
No.
From when he's come
I
in,
freaking.
game
I talk
in and
about
game
it
out.
all the time. I am so bummed Burrow is on the Bengals because I love watching that guy play, and it kills me every time because he's on the Bengals. It's like, well, that sucks.
There-
he's
there's-
got that.
There's a guy in Green Bay that is the most consistent quarterback.
They're very similar. I think
Ever.
I've said that before. That him and Aaron Rodgers, I think they're incredibly similar quarterbacks.
You could make that point.
Yeah.
I agree with
I
it.
don't. Okay, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers has ever had the talent level of a receiver core.
What are you
that Joe
talking
Burrow
about?
Had. What do you mean?
You got Jamar Chase.
Right.
You got Devontae Adams.
Okay.
You got what's the Jordy Nelson?
T. Higgins.
Wouldn't you
T.
say T.
Higgins.
Higgins and him?
No.
Come on now. When Nelson was in his prime, he
Yeah,
was freaking
Jordy
good.
Nelson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but who was?
Who Randall
but he didn't
Cobb
have
was in his prime. He was
didn't-
freaking good.
He didn't have Jordy Nelson when he had.
Yeah.
He's had good
That's a
receivers
good argument.
throughout
Okay.
the years,
And
but
okay.
not at the same
other,
time.
No,
the
the
other
same time.
difference with that too is the fact that like the Packers and they've found those players. Like they didn't go out and go get like, you know what, we're gonna go get you a top tier weapon.
Right.
No, they drafted all their guys.
Here you go, Aaron Rodgers. Here's a number 1 draft pick wide receiver.
Yeah.
What was it like? They hadn't had an off, and they didn't get who's their quarterback now? Jordan
Love.
And they didn't get that poor guy.
No.
Oh, wide
They
receiver.
went defense.
either.
Yeah, they went defense. They're like-
again.
That was the beginning of the end.
And it's like
That right there.
they for like the last 15 years they haven't had an offensive pick at a skill
the
position.
first
That's good. Can you name the last time he had 2 top tier receivers at the same time?
No, that's a
Because
good
you're talking Jordy Nelson. I think he was there with Donald Driver, right? But Donald Driver was
He's getting pretty
back
old at that
end of
time.
his career.
Yeah, he always
was
had
not
like
a-
he always had like old, new, and then that
Yeah.
shift. Old, new.
Yep.
Right.
That's a good point.
No
yeah.
one's arguing that Jordy Nelson at one point in time was not a top 10, maybe top 5 receiver in the league. I'm not saying that, but
No, Rodgers hasn't had the combo.
and then Cobb was always a really, really solid receiver.
He was a really
slot
good slot
Yeah, he's a slot
receiver,
receiver,
yeah.
but not top tier.
He was not like a
Like deep bomb,
Yeah.
like I'm going to burn everybody. No, that wasn't him. I
Hmm.
think Aaron Rodgers made a lot of people look good with the weird, wild throws he could make, you know?
yeah. would
So
agree
I
with
guess
that.
I will say that, and I was trying to help it out, but then we started talking about it, and then that kind of makes me like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Right now,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is the guy in that argument at this point in their careers, because
Well, yeah, you only got one guy who's played 2 years, and then the other guy who's played 15, 17.
he's played 3 years.
1 year he was hurt the whole year.
Was it the whole year? No.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
he played like half the year.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe like 5 games.
Okay, but that makes it even more intriguing. This second year coming in with only playing so many games, and he goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what I'm
this year he goes
saying.
to the AFC Championship.
Guy's balling out.
He's balling
Gotta
out,
give him his props.
But he has that core around him.
but he has no line.
But he kind of doesn't.
the Packers
he
have a
doesn't-
line?
He's got the core players, but he doesn't have the best line.
Horrible line.
They went out and got Lyle Collins from the Cowboys.
His bodyguard.
Yeah, and we got the best year. I feel like we got the best years out of that guy, and he was supposed to be a number 1 draft pick or first round draft pick, and he got wrapped up in that case, so his stock fell, and he so he didn't get drafted.
Yep.
So we got him as a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah.
And then we signed him for like 5 years. And then we let him walk. And then now he's going to be Burrow's bodyguard. And then he like didn't play this year.
Yeah. I mean, if they can figure that out, that is it's not a great situation. If they can fix that line, though, I think the Bengals and maybe one or two pieces on defense, they're just as scary as the Eagles. If they can fix that line, I think they're
I think the Eagles have a better defense.
right. And then one or two pieces because the Bengals defense
I
isn't
think the
bad.
thing about the Eagles that's scary is that they could have done pretty much nothing this entire offseason and gone into next year, and it's like, okay, this team is likely going to be back in the championship game, and they went out and had a pretty good offseason and an even better draft, and it's like, oh, great.
They might have that hangover though.
I don't think that team will.
The Rams did. Remember, greatest
they
show on
won it,
turf
Oh, that
when
back,
they
back then.
lost. Or they lost in the Super Bowl to the Patriots, and then the next year they just crumbled.
So far the Bengals haven't drafted a lineman, so well, Joe's gonna be.
That's his reassurance. It's like I had
Yeah.
to look it up. They still don't have a lineman to go to.
Yeah, I mean they picked up another wide receiver because they need that, but
That is weird.
they went all defense.
Well, Boyd's almost on his way out, and I don't know
Super
about.
solid receiver though.
Yeah.
He's reliable.
Yeah, he is, but I could see this being like his last year playing.
Yeah, but I mean,
I could too. I'm liking the Steelers receiver core right now.
hell
I'm
yeah.
liking it a
Absolutely.
lot. I'm liking it a lot.
Deontay,
At number
Pickens,
3.
Allen. Wow. I think Calvin Austin's going to come out and surprise a lot of people.
I hope
He's
so.
flying under the
You
radar.
got
And it's
him?
perfect.
Hey, he's going to surprise Deontay Johnson. That's who he's going to surprise.
He's not even a threat to Deontay Johnson.
If he does that good, then we're all
Yeah.
going to be real happy.
Yeah, but we're going to be good. Pickens is only going to go up.
Yeah.
And then Pickett, he's
Pickett's
going to
gonna
be
have a great year.
he's going to have an outstanding year.
Yep.
Because
He's
I
got a
think his line, if his line just gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
and I think it will.
But
He's
then,
got the energy we need.
what about our offensive coordinator?
This is the. I think
That's a
this is-
situation.
I think this is the prove it year.
I thought last year should have been the prove it
Well,
year.
we all thought that, but
So
Welcome to
here's my
Pittsburgh.
thought on it. I thought that he needed to stay.
just because of the new,
Why did you invite Jeremy? Why would he say something like
I know why.
Well, you
I
can
get
ask
it.
me. You can ask me a follow up as to
that?
why.
Okay, why do you think that?
So look at quarterbacks that get drafted, and then look at the ones that fail, and the ones that have a revolving door with an offensive coordinator, and it's pretty high. So I think if you have an offensive coordinator, and you build like a rapport with your young quarterback for a couple of years, I think that allows that quarterback a much higher ceiling to succeed.
Ben Roethlisberger had multiple offensive coordinators. Like right after he was successful too. Remember they went to
His
Haley?
first 2 years, he had
Todd
two,
Haley?
He had two.
No, they won the Super Bowl and then he left. Who that was?
Didn't he have Bruce Arians?
Yeah, he had Arians.
Yeah, Bruce
No,
Arians.
I'm talking, but like you look at Carr, for example. Carr had
Like
his-
7.
right. There's so many quarterbacks that get run out of the league in 4 years, and in those 4 years they've had 4 different.
Because they had a bad
coordinators.
situation.
Yeah, I
really
mean,
bad
for what it
situation.
is, or
I'll
they
agree
have
with that.
different head coaches.
I'll agree with
So
that.
it's like I think if you can give them some kind of stability, so
Mm-hmm.
you give him 2 years with Canada, and it's like
That's
as,
it.
as
This is his
painful
year.
as that is,
Yep.
but at least there's some continuity. So now he's got 2 years into the league, and now he's established himself. He's grown into the league a little bit, and then from there you guys can make either Canada's progressed, hopefully, God willing, for you guys, right? Or it's like you guys move on.
Better do
pains me.
something.
I hope he does. I hope he turns it around.
But at
But
least at
He-
that
he
point,
can't
it's
go
not
back.
like
It's-
No.
I mean, if you go back, you're getting fired
Yeah.
mid-season.
or at
'Cause
least
we
at that
didn't-
point, though, it's not like, okay, here's our rookie quarterback. Okay, you adjusted for your rookie year. Oh, by the way, boom, you got to learn a new offensive
yeah,
coordinator.
that's true. I think
No,
they changed
this
that
is it.
offensive
Make or break
system
year.
like 3 times throughout the year last year, though. Like different things they were doing and stuff. I think they hung on
because
to
some
multiple
things weren't
too
working.
long.
It was.
I will
let's
say-
try
Yeah, that's
this.
what leads me to believe he's not a good offensive
I
coordinator.
will say, from a guy that's not like
But he
a
went through three
fan,
quarterbacks.
from the outside looking in, it looked like your offense actually did progress.
Started clicking.
It started getting
Yeah,
better.
started running the football towards the end. But, I mean, we still weren't putting up big numbers.
But
by
you
any
threw the
means.
ball more than 5 yards downfield,
God,
Yeah.
that was killing me.
and you stopped running those sideways jet sweep plays.
He did. No, we didn't. I don't think we ever stopped running the.
No,
you
we
did.
cut down on it. We cut down on it
quite a
'cause
bit.
We
It went
were
from like 30 a
crying
game.
every
Oh
Sunday.
my lord!
Every
like,
time.
Here it is.
Jets.
Yeah. God.
I don't know. Maybe he'll trust in the quarterback more this year. Like,
Oh,
okay, I
yeah.
get
He
it.
will.
Maybe he wasn't trusting him to throw. We weren't doing play action.
They were just trying to help him play smart. You can't just be like, here, pick it. You're going to throw 40 times this game. Don't throw an
I'm
interception.
not saying 40 times. I'm saying throw the ball down the field, though. You got to let the.
I think
They couldn't do audibles.
That's what hot
I
routes.
think one thing
There's
Yeah,
no
they
hot
couldn't do
routes.
hot
was
routes.
very evident was in those tough situations he was able to like play and put the ball
Yeah.
where it needed to be, and it was
Well, yeah,
He
you
showed
go
he
back to
has
the
talent.
Miami
Yeah.
Dolphins game where we're on Sunday night. He drives down the field, throws an interception. We're like, great. Then we get the ball back. Drives down the field again, throws an interception. Since that game, it went way uphill
Yep.
on how he was playing smart. He was not forcing it. He was checking his reads. He was playing smart. He learned from the mistake, which I think the whole entire offseason from the end of the season of
That's what
last
you gotta
year,
do,
it's
yeah.
it's just going to be him learning, which is back to your point of staying with the same coordinator. They had a relationship already.
Yeah.
Carry that on into next season. If it doesn't work, he's gone. It's not Pickett's
Yeah.
fault if it does not work.
yeah.
Pickett's a
I
good
think
quarterback.
I just think that's imperative. Like as painful as that might be, it's if you're wanting your quarterback to truly succeed, I think you got to have some continuity around him.
For sure.
I think teams that give their young, especially important pieces like a quarterback, I think teams that give their young players that continuity, I think they find more success.
Mm-hmm.
They give them that.
Something that I've been kind of worried about that I want to get your thoughts on is Pickens' attitude.
Yeah.
He showed some signs that I did not like at all. I know he's young, but it's also something that I don't want to see anymore because I get AB flashbacks.
Yes.
And that crushed our team. Like it really did. When we were
Yeah.
the team on offense that those years. I mean, we had everything. And then you could see it was slowly breaking apart because of the attitude AB was giving. And I can't remember what game it was, but Pickens wasn't getting the ball.
I think
and
they
he
threw
was
it to him once.
Yeah, and I get like throw him the ball. He's freaking good. But also, if you're not getting the ball, don't bring that attitude of
Like a 10-year veteran, all-pro
like
wide receiver.
like go to the guy that's
Yeah.
getting the ball and like be like, keep doing this. You know, you're doing great. I'll get you open. Because they probably were looking at Pickens compared to the other players.
A clip. I think it was something about he walked off the field early or something, or
Yeah.
and they asked him a question about that, and like during the middle of the week practice. And as you guys know, I moved up here from Cincinnati, so I've got a bunch of friends who are Bengals fans, and they one of my buddies like quote retweeted it and said, "Future, do we have another AB?"
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of it.
I think
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what I was saying. It was flashbacks.
It
of
scared.
right.
It
It's
scared me
Carolina.
most because he was.
that was the game.
He
Johnson was doing good in.
Yeah, but it scared me because he's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He's proved nothing.
Yeah,
At that point in time,
Mhm.
you're talking because his stats didn't really start coming around until later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in time, it was like all you have right now is your potential bucket. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how full that is.
Mhm.
And for you to do that, that was what was most concerning was that. But on the other token, I saw it like maybe he was like he really wants the ball.
Yeah.
Like I
Which
can
is
do
good.
this. Give me the ball. Like whenever you have a kid, and they keep trying to do something. You're like, no, you're like they keep messing it up or something, and then you're like, no, you can. Okay, we're like, no, I can do it. I can. That's what I hope.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, it's
maybe
hard to say
I
'cause
lie to myself.
we're not
maybe.
in that huddle.
He was on the
Right.
sideline
We're not-
screaming it though. Definitely, you didn't have to be in the huddle to hear what he was saying.
Yeah, but like we don't know the backstory. We don't know his side of the story. Like
Right.
It reminds me when AB chucked
the
the cooler,
cooler
on the field
Yeah.
because Roethlisberger threw the ball or AB got open and he didn't throw him
Yeah.
the ball. And then
Yep.
what did that lead to? AB being triple coverage and Roethlisberger's forcing the
Forcing the
ball
ball.
to him, throwing
Mhm.
picks because he wasn't open, but he had to because
It's the worst when you can recognize that your quarterback is force feeding your star receiver
Yeah.
the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Dak was doing that last year to CD all the time, and it's like in the playoffs, CD is double covered, and Noah Brown is running the same opposite mirrored route, wide open, nobody next to him, up the middle. For
Yeah, there was
easy
that one.
touchdown.
He threw
Yeah.
to like 4 or
And
5
he like
people.
tried to force feed it to CD, and it's like, brother, man, we're trying to win a playoff game. What are you doing?
I don't.
What are you?
You hear people all
doing?
the time like, "Oh, we need to get this player more involved. We need to get him more involved." And I'm like, I understand what they mean because he's a playmaker, but at the same time, if you're doing well, you know what I mean. If they're
Don't
why
change it, yeah.
like why do you have to get that person involved? Because
Because it's going to win you fantasy football or something.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think a lot of it's politics, and a lot of
It
they're
is.
like, well, we got to feed his ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't always, they're like, oh, we need to get him involved. Like I've heard people say that, like announcers say that about teams that are winning at halftime. Oh, they need to get him involved. I'm like, what do you mean? They're doing just fine with him not involved. Like it should be whoever's open. But they do have plays that are designed for certain players.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't see it much after that game,
No, because I
which
think-
was good, and hopefully that was that conversation.
Hopefully it
Hopefully Mike laid his foot
think
down. And
That's
was
what
like,
should have happened.
You're not doing that again, and he didn't. You know, we didn't see him yelling and screaming.
But now we got.
But he
Allen
also
Robinson.
was. It seemed like he was getting more targets too. So I'm just hoping that we don't go into this next season.
It does
and then,
seem like they have Pickett and Pickens have a natural connection.
Yeah, they do.
Well, listen to it. It's perfect. Pickett to Pickens.
PP time.
PP time.
It's all about that.
I mean, but so like I feel like as those two like progress into the league and settle on into the league, I think I'd imagine that those two would just form a relationship.
Mhm.
I don't think that specific issue
Yep.
would develop into something that would be crazy, but
I don't know. It's so hard
Who
to say.
knows?
I think
Dez and
we
Romo had a wonderful relationship, and Dez
That's right. That was quarterback.
was definitely one for the dramatics on the sideline.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
That was quarterback.
Yeah,
man.
I don't think it's like
that
T.O.
was T.O.
That
status.
was T.O.
That was T.O.
No,
That's my
I
quarterback.
think we overthink it because of how recent the AB situation
Yeah, we
is
got like
for us.
PTSD from
Exactly,
AB.
yeah, I
So
really
it's
do
like,
think-
oh no,
We probably wouldn't
tore our
even
team
had this
apart.
conversation.
Number one offense in the NFL got tore apart because of one guy, and Tomlin didn't do anything about it, and that's what scares me. That's why I think you were saying I hope Tomlin went in there
Yeah.
and said this and that. But the draft though, I think first pick for us, solid had to happen. Glad we moved up. Sorry, Jets. Second round pick, I think we got incredibly lucky. I think. Do you as well? Were you happy with us getting him? You seemed like you were on the fence earlier.
Well, it's because I wanted Emmanuel Forbes, more. I think he was bigger, but he was picked earlier, and so we went with Porter. But I don't know. It gives me a little bit of worry because sometimes I think maybe we picked him because of his name.
Yeah.
You don't think we had to?
That's
The
why.
top three players on the board at that point in time was the tight end from Notre Dame.
At that time, yeah, I think
And
it
we
was.
had to have a
I think it was a good
cornerback.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I still wish like we could have gotten Forbes. Though. I would have taken Forbes if both of them were up there. I would have taken Forbes over Porter,
We essentially traded Claypool for Joey Porter.
which is perfect.
Great.
I think
Yeah,
there's
that-
nothing to
yep.
lose with that
He can't
with that
do
trade.
worse than him.
Yep.
A less impactful player for us.
Nope.
What else? And then the third pick, the tight end. I don't know about that one.
I
think
think
it'll
it's
be
just
fine.
more for blocking.
Yeah,
I think it's
I think it's gonna be
literally
fine.
it's all
It's
it
a
is
weird
we're gonna
avenue
see
to
him.
take, though. I just feel like we could have got a linebacker that I think was a higher need for us since we fired
Maybe that's-
all of the ones from last year.
Have we made our last pick yet? Are we into
I
the
don't know.
seventh yet? Or is that?
Yeah, the first three I think are usually the biggest for like popularity and whatnot. But I think the tight. How do you feel about the tight end?
I'm happy about it. I mean, I think he's gonna be good.
I'm not upset about the guy.
I think
I'm just the situation.
pick,
I feel
yeah.
like we could have done. We had other needed areas more.
Well, I know I saw a couple teams that were projected to take him and they didn't. So I don't know if maybe they just figured if we wait around, he isn't gonna be there. So maybe that's why they went after him earlier than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. By that point, I don't know if there was any linebackers.
We're almost into the 7th
Yeah, we're
round.
still-
We're almost
sixth.
into the south, or
Yeah,
still
we're
in the
sixth.
sixth.
Yeah.
It's slowed
Yeah,
down.
I just feel like out of our tight end room right now.
Yeah, I
you
mean, we do have a
Freiermuth,
huge tight end.
I think is potential like a franchise tight end for
Yes.
us.
Mhm.
Big playmaker.
He's a lock. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think that. So then you're like, in my head, I'm like, you need another one behind that that can play on the other side of him
Yep.
if need be. And I thought we had that in Hayward.
Or Gentry. Not so much.
Not-
Hayward
not
more
as
than
much.
Gentry, but
Okay.
Gentry was.
I think Hayward has
reliable.
his potential bucket. I think he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
He can run routes and mucho better.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see him a whole lot, so that's what kind of makes that hard.
So you think Hayward and Freiermuth will be kind of those two guys that go on the routes, and then you got Gentry and what was his name?
Washington.
Darnell Washington.
It's just weird. How often are you watching 4 tight ends like rotate? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you have one
Well,
that's a dead ass like.
He
Yeah,
watched
didn't
it
we
a lot.
just sign
I said
Gentry
you
too?
watched it a lot.
Yeah.
You
Swear
guys
to
just
God.
constantly.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just.
I mean,
I think it's just weird. I think it's a lot
he really
when
he-
you already had 3 that have playing experience at a decent level.
I feel like we're thinking too much in the tight end category. I think he's literally going to go into a offensive tackle position.
Almost, yeah.
I really do. I think he's going to make that transition and not be a tight end anymore. I think that's what they saw with him.
You mean like maybe because our goal line
Yeah.
was abysmal?
Yep.
Yep, or just depth for the offense.
Or maybe we'll
Of
start
line.
doing that crazy fourth and short plays, and that's what we're gonna
Like
bring
back
in.
in the day,
No, you know, like the
or he could be a
the Eagle
fullback
scrum.
too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He might be like again one of those hybrid guys. Like, oh, you can go in. You're like a lineman. That
Yeah.
can also, you're athletic enough to be a fullback, or maybe
Yeah.
go out on the occasional route. I suppose, but
That's my thoughts on him. I think he will transition to
yeah,
the line more than a.
I think a
catcher.
linebacker, maybe like an interior defensive lineman.
I mean, look what he did at Georgia. He didn't. He caught the ball like. I think his total receptions were like 35 in the 3 years he was there. He was blocking.
Yeah, you're set. His last year was 26 though.
Yeah, but then the years
Well, that's
before
because
that, he had like 5
Brock
and
Bowers
6.
was the other side.
That's a good point. But see, he's
Yeah.
he's a blocking tight end.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he is.
Don't you think it's a little high to draft a blocking tight end though?
Not if he's gonna.
I
be
don't
good.
know that
No,
somebody
I don't know.
somebody took a
Do you
kicker
think-
at the end of the third.
I mean, someone took a kicker in the 3rd round. Did you just say
This
that?
year,
The Patriots took a kicker.
San Fran took the kicker in the third round.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Patriots took a kicker in like the 4th or something like that.
I mean,
That's weird.
I agree with you. It's not the sexiest pick, but
Not at all.
you know, it's
A
it is
kicker,
what
I
it
can
is.
see a kicker more because kickers can, better than anybody, can change a game. You know what I mean? Like a kicker can literally, it can change if
Well,
this guy's
fortunately, we didn't lose the game because
right.
Yeah.
Which would you say was
yeah.
lucky?
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Right. And then,
Oof.
but I'm just saying that changes your decisions. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a blocking tight end does as much.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
see.
change oh no, our 3rd string blocking tight end's hurt. What are we going to do right now?
Maybe this is part of
All
Matt
right.
Canada's plan.
I don't know.
We'll
There's
You know what I
gotta be
mean? Your
some
kicker
reason
goes
for
down
it.
in the middle of a playoff game. You're like, what are we going to go for? How far away? Like that changes. Are we going to get the punter out there?
Well, I
kicker
feel that-
goes down in the middle. Like you don't have multiple kickers.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
You
big
only
deal.
have one kicker.
It's a big
Yeah.
deal. We have multiple tight ends though. So why are you taking one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy missed that block. Put in someone else. Just try it. If your kicker misses a kick, you're like, don't do it again.
Well, they obviously have a
We'll
plan
see.
for this fella.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I
we'll
hope-
do
I
a
just
little
don't know
more
what it is.
research. We've hit about our mark on this week's episode,
yes, we
but
have.
it's gonna be interesting to see our next couple picks in the 7th round. See what we do there. It's kind of hard to say on those players because it's the 7th round. We probably have never even heard of them, but
We'll take a
you
receiver.
never know. never
of them's
know
gonna be a
what'll
receiver.
happen. Yeah,
I like those receiver picks.
I know,
Yeah.
but one of them will be.
we'll see what happens. But
They're
Thanks
historic.
thanks for tuning in, guys. We got the schedule coming up soon. They're going to release that, which we'll be able to go and give our thoughts on a not so early picks.
Yeah, we
I
already
guess.
had way too early. This will be
Not so
semi-early.
Yeah, semi-early.
It's still pretty early.
It is.
Well, the draft happened. I guess it's not as
Yeah.
early.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
It's been a long off season, but at least we got some moves that have been made. And
It's exciting. Let us
Yeah.
know in the comments what you guys think about the draft picks, our opinions
Yeah,
on the draft picks.
mm-hmm.
Share, like, subscribe.
Yeah, give us a grade. What your thoughts are on there, and
for
we'll
sure.
we'll reach back out to you on there. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
all of them.
Coldest
That's
steel.
right.
Yeah,
Coldest steel.
coldest steel out. See you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in.
I think that was